Amanam Bruce. Tumanam kita.
Everybody has the capacity to be racist, wherever you are in the world. I think it's a natural human condition, though, to be afraid of something that's slightly different to you. I think that's the basis of it. I mean, I know academically it's defined as prejudice plus power. When you've got the power to do something about it, then you can turn it into something very damaging to the person who's receiving it. I think if you recognise that as an emotional condition, maybe you can use your intellect to check yourself.
Has a country like this got any future?
I think it needs an awful lot of help. The amount of general poverty, I think, is growing. You know, you see so many children working. I mean, it used to be a rich area 200 years ago and more. People would call it the pearl of the Bay of Bengal. You know, people wondered at it. And it's not that now, and that's not unconnected with the British rule here. Basically, we don't care that many countries are incredibly poor. We simply don't care. I mean, we do raise money for charity and so on, which is excellent, but it's just simply not good enough at the end of the day.
Well, my girlfriend is in Africa, and I don't think I'll have another chance of seeing her again.
You got any girlfriend?
No, not yet. I'm sure it will come, but not yet.
I mean, I do think a lot of people think too much about it.
What happened when you burnt your finger?
I'd rather not talk about it, really. Well, no, but I didn't really mean that. I mean, I didn't mean that I don't want to talk about it. Just, I need quite a long time to think about it, really. I think I would very much like to become involved in a family, my own family for a start. That's a need that I feel I ought to fulfil and would like to fulfil and would do it well. Yes, I haven't got married or whatever. And I suppose, you know, that would have been something which I hoped had happened. You know, I suppose lots of reasons, really. I don't suppose I've met the right person.
Okay. Well, about 10 minutes. I mean, you just read out an article. Okay.
I'm still a bit shy and awkward. Still have a bit of growing up to do sometimes. I think I'm a little bit immature sometimes. I can have quite sort of teenage-like crushes on people. And I can see myself sort of falling into it and know exactly what's happening, but sort of unable to do anything about it. I've had affairs. Sometimes they've ended quite naturally with goodwill on both sides. Maybe I just haven't met the right person.
Well, you're getting on a bit. Are you getting worried?
Well, not particularly. I mean, I'm always optimistic. I mean, who knows who I might meet tomorrow, but I think that's the trouble with reserve. You're not rejected, but you never know what might have been. But I'm getting better, you know, year by year. I think we all grow up.
What are the qualities in a woman that you look for?
Well, somebody I get on with, I suppose. Not particularly attractive or whatever. I don't want this to turn into a sort of a dating agency video.
My heart's desire is to see my daddy, who's 6,000 miles away.
We died about 3 years ago. I mean, he was 72. I mean, we did drift apart because he was in Rhodesia, Zimbabwe, as it now is. He did come back to England and retire, and I did used to go up to Yorkshire and see him, not as often as I should have done. I mean, I'm sure he had a fond feeling for me, and I'd like to have returned that in some way.
Did you miss him?
Well, I'd like to have been able to miss him, and I'd like to have got closer to be able to miss him. You know, I regret that chance of not getting closer at that time. You always need people to care for you, because if you disappoint yourself by acting badly in a particular way, you tend most to hurt the people who love you. And, you know, where would we be without having people to love you?
At 28, Bruce was living in a council flat in East London. He's now in primitive lodgings in the middle of Sylhet. Is money important to you?
Well, not really. I mean, I have enough to live on. I don't know whether teachers deserve more money. My gripe's never been about money. They've always been about conditions of work. I find it horrible that people care so much about money. There are many more finer things in life than that. You know, people who bought the shares and the privatisation issues just to make quick money. I just thought, well, what are you about in life? Is that it? You know, I didn't want any part of that.
This film is about opportunity. Do you think you made the most of your opportunities?
My opportunity was to do what I wanted and what I found fulfilling. And I had a great variety because of my background, yes. I've made the most of my opportunity because I found something to do that I find rewarding. And that was my opportunity. I see education as being very important, you know, which is why I'm distressed by something which I see in Bangladesh, you know, the young kids working so hard. They need to bring the money in for their family. You know, I'd say, well, education is a right. The more they learn, the more choices they have in life. Life should be a rich experience.
If we did all love Jeffrey and we all want to marry him,
Yeah.
I think I know the one that he likes best, and that's her.
Plenty of boyfriends, but not one.
Yeah, not one in
certain
particular. You're
friends,
friends with plenty of boys, you know.
We had a
And we
teacher
are.
at school that his favourite ploy was, all you girls want to do is walk out, get married, have babies and push a pram down the street with a fag hanging outside your mouth.
Women are expanding into so many different areas now that it must be getting easier. And I mean, I could still be working now and have a family if I wanted to. The number of people in my situation, not single parents as such, but divorced single parents, is unbelievable. And the people of my mum's generation, it's still rare, very rare.
I mean, for my mum to have contemplated leaving my dad with 5, I mean, I don't even know what she would have done.
That's right. Yeah,
Because she never dreamed of working until the youngest one went to school. So I couldn't imagine where she would have gone or what she would have done.
We haven't got that problem. If a relationship is not working, then it's acceptable in society to bail out.
Well, I know he is her and he loves her. I don't. I love him.
I don't think I'd get married too early. I'd like to have a full life first and meet people before you can commit yourself to a family.
Sue was 24 when she married Billy. They had 2 children, William and Catherine.
I think that to get married young, there must be things that you miss. You must miss that crucial stage of being yourself, because the minute you get married, you're no longer a single being, you're a partnership, and that should be the idea behind it. Go on then, you go first. What was that one? Turn it over and put it back in the same place. Just after we made the last one, I had Catherine. And then she was about a year, and the marriage started to sort of dissolve around us, really. And we decided to go our separate ways. I've never sat down and thought, well, what was it? Was it this? Was it that? I just knew it wasn't working. And the discussion really was the best way of splitting up, rather than, you know, why are we splitting up? It was a really strange... I think it seemed so obvious to both of us that it was probably easier to do than it should have been. I have a regular one night a week when I can go out. It just happens to be that in this particular circle, most of them are separated or are divorced. You have common problems, so sometimes it's easier because you recognise each other's problems with babysitters. You know that it's not always possible to drop everything and go out. I think that the women want more out of life now. That is basically why they won't put up with a less than happy marriage.
Are you ready for a long-term relationship?
I I don't think you're ever ready for a long-term relationship. Either it happens to you or it doesn't, really. I mean, I certainly wouldn't kick one in the teeth if it crept up on me. Yeah, I mean, why not?
Did you meet enough men before you decided who to marry?
I've been married a year and a couple of months. You do think, Christ, what have I done?
See, I've still got my
And
ideals.
I'm being honest about it. I must think's the same. You think, at times, you think, Christ, what have I done?
Lynn married Russ at 19. He works for the post office. They have 2 daughters, Sarah and Emma.
I'm very much geared to the family unit. I mean, us all, we do things together all the time. I mean, there are times when Russ and I, obviously, we like to leave it all behind and go out just the 2 of us. Now, as the girls are getting older, we've actually started taking them with us. I'll say, we haven't done very much, but when you look back, we have. It might only just be playing games or going swimming or going for a walk. We're doing it together.
If you think that getting married, as far as we're concerned, is a case of going to work, come home, cook tea for hubby, going to bed, getting up, going to work, you're totally mistaken.
Jackie married Mick when she was 19.
I'm not sure I would recommend it. I think but again, you're generalising. I mean, if I would say on average, 19 is probably too young. We decided ourselves, I mean, just between the 2 of us, we knew it wasn't going any further. We both knew, I think, that at the end of the day we would be happier leading our own lives. Whether that involved other people, was to be seen. But no, it would. I mean, you've got to bear in mind we had no children to worry about. So really, the only people that were getting hurt by us was us.
If I could, I would have 2 girls and 2 boys. Yes, I would.
And what about you, Jackie?
My mum, because she got 5 girls, she had 7 years bad luck. That's why she's got 5 girls.
I'd like to be able to have a happy family. I mean, I know that's not possible to be happy all the time, but as much of the time that was possible. Go through there, that's the nursery.
Got any plans?
Oh, do me a favour.
At 21, Jackie had moved into a new house. By the time she was 28, she had decided not to have children.
Basically, I would say because I'm far too selfish. I enjoy doing what I want, when I want and how I want. And certainly at the moment, I can't see any way around that. It's not to say that that's a forever decision. Oh. And this one on. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Had a brief but very sweet relationship, the result of which was Charlie. God, blimey, Charlie, you're supposed to clean your teeth, not eating the brush. It's the best thing that could have happened to me. Yeah. And I would never have believed I could have enjoyed a child as much as I enjoy him. I actually sat down and sort of thought about, should I have him or not? I thought about what I was going to do if I did have him, how I was going to keep him. But it comes back to the same old story, the family. Yeah. Oh, nice. Oh, look. My father's only comment to me was, it is your decision. You tell me what you want to do, and then we'll take it from there. And they've totally rallied around me. Anybody that wanted to know just got told I was pregnant. I wasn't with the father. End of story.